where we believe you can grow to be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right. Every week we share tips on how to improve your physical, mental, spiritual, financial, intellectual, and your social health. Today we are focusing on your social health, and the topic is partying. How can I improve my social health by partying? This might be one of my favorite topics, and we have 3 epic partiers, maybe, on today to teach you a little bit about how to improve that social health. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made, you are missing out. This is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something that you don't, and you can learn a little something from everyone in this big, beautiful world in the spirit of authenticity. And to try to remove as much bias as possible, my guests and I do not talk about our tips or advice before the show starts. So when they come on and share their advice, it's going to be from their own life journey to try to keep it as real as possible. Audience, we love you so much, and it's cool because we have an interactive show. If you comment or ask questions, we read them out loud and put our guests on the hot seat. So please comment and ask as many questions as you want, and we will do our best to get to them all. And since we love our audience so much, we are going to shout out a few of our followers on Facebook. Jared Smith and Esther Wild, thank you so much for following us. Instagram, Becca Morrison, Gwen Tinsley. TikTok, Daisy Morris and Marilyn. And YouTube, George and Ina Fade. Thank you guys so much for following us. If you want a shout out on our next episode, all you got to do is follow us on socials and you could be the next one. If you want to be a guest on our show, I highly, highly encourage it. Everyone in this world has something that they can share, and that includes you. We're dropping the link right now. If you want to sign up, please be a guest. We'd love to have you. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to have you share your expertise with the world and help the world grow. If you are also currently going through something a little tough, maybe a breakup, maybe you don't have your purpose, a little lost in life, maybe financially, something tough is going on. We all go through it, but I can help you. We can throw an entire episode. Give us a topic. We'll take 3 guests. We'll find out some tips on that topic and help you get through that little rut in your life. And if you love what we do, hopefully you do, please like, subscribe, share, send stars, whatever it is on whatever social you are. And we'd also love to offer a free growth consultation. I love talking to people one-on-one and helping them through whatever they're going through. If I can't do it, I know someone that can, but sign up below. We're dropping that link if you want to have a free one-on-one session with me. This episode is brought to you by some awesome sponsors. Our first sponsor here is Sarah Jones. Sarah Jones was buried in debt in a marriage that was failing and making more money than ever before, which is exactly why being a millionaire in life isn't just about money. Sarah knew there had to be a better way to live. Following one of the big name programs for getting out of debt resulted in shame, debt, and living a life that felt awful. So she set out to find a way through the money mess to restore her marriage and to use the money they were making to work for them and not against them. Now, Sarah has become a financial coach, helping people build healthy financial foundations so they can live the life they deserve. She works with couples, individuals, small businesses to bring fun back to the money game. She also offers a free call. Check her out. Her link's being dropped right now so you can learn where to start. Next up, we've got Craig Sadkowski, who is an amazing man. He's a human behaviorist and mentor. He specializes in helping entrepreneurs discover their true identity and their purpose in order to achieve growth in business and life. Check Craig out. Next, we have our Dr. Nick Sotelo. Thank you so much for sponsoring. Licensed professional with his PhD, helping men manage anger. He's an expert in finding out the why and helping manage your anger with his expert coaching. And our final sponsor, Veronica Herrera, is a life coach, and she hosts an awesome podcast you should check out too. Thrive, Don't Survive, empowers others with emotional regulation tools to transform challenges into thriving success. Who's ready to meet some guests? We've got some awesome ones out today. Our first guest is Jesse. Jesse, who are you? He's partying.
My name is
right
Jesse
now.
Lewis, and welcome to the party. I perform hypnosis shows across Western Canada. And Austin, I told you I'd try not to derail it. It was on purpose. This whole thing was just a 1980s movie turning towards the fireplace. Anyway, let's talk partying. I perform across Western Canada. That's my job, partying. Let's do this.
All right, we got literally a paid party here that does all the hypnosis and parties, right? But you never get paid to
Yes.
just show up. You actually have to do something, right?
Well, it's either I do the hypnosis or I strip, and nobody wants to see me strip. So that's the choice
Hey,
I got.
we still have that contract intact, okay? Jesse, you have been to
Fair.
tons of parties and performed at them. If I wanted to improve my social health with partying, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Well, I've already told you in a way previous episode that you sent to me today to pull the stick out of your butt, and that's the same advice I'm going to give to everybody: is
Oh, that's
to
good.
actually take part. Because let's say that you're at like a staff party for your office. You're sitting in a corner, you're kind of grumpy. I'm an old man. This party's no good. Well, no wonder you're in a bad mood. Pull the stick out of your butt, do some interaction, and have a good time. Instead of just thinking this party's just a social gathering that you're forced to be at, make it one that you actually want to be at. Take part, build relationships, and have a good time. Simple as that.
So let's focus even just on let's talk about just weddings here. I mean, as a guest, you almost have a duty to do more and act more and create the environment, right? Or
Absolutely.
wrong?
If you're looking at weddings specifically, nobody wants guests that are angry to be there. And to be honest, if you're going to be and sorry for my French, but if you're going to be an asshole at a party, you might as well not be there, because why take part if that's just how it's going to be? Instead, be as nice as you possibly can and go have fun. Meet some people. We're all social animals. No matter how introverted we think we are, I'm probably the most introverted person I know. I don't leave the house unless I have to. So no matter how introverted we are, we all still need that social connection, and a party is a great way to do it as long as you have the mental capability to go out and have a good time and actually interact with people. It's when you don't interact that a party isn't so much fun.
All right. Well, we know a little bit about what you do, but tell us where in your life journey you learned this advice.
Well, it is literally from what I do. I don't like sitting down with. So I do a lot of parties. I've done over 1,000 in the last 18 years. And one of the things I don't like doing is sitting down with the guests and talking to them. But I've learned over the course of those 18 years is that if I take part with the guests that are there, because I'm an entertainer, that generally it's a better show. If I sit down, if I have a meal with them, if I discover who they are, it's a lot better than just going and performing a hypnosis show completely blind, in my opinion, and it personalizes me to the audience. That might sound weird, but as an entertainer, you're kind of up here usually, or you're a dance monkey dance entertainer. It's either one or the other. And I find that interacting with them in a non-stage setting, in a non-performance setting where I'm just a normal person, really gets better reactions than being the high mucky muck entertainer, if that makes any sense. So that's the tip I have, and that's where it comes from, is to actually take part.
Actually take part, be a part of the party, meet some people,
Yep.
be kind, and be a good guest. It's almost a duty and a role you have to write as a guest to get invited to more, meet more people, and build connections. Awesome.
That's
Thank you so
absolutely.
much, Jesse. We are going to move on to our next guest. Her name is Danielle. Danielle, who are you?
Woo!
Still partying from last night. All
That's
right.
it. All right.
Who are you, Danielle?
Hey there. So outside of a social butterfly, I'm Danielle Blackmore. I'm an emotional intelligence expert, and I help people who have a tendency to internalize their social interactions, which would create some anxiety when you're at a party. I teach them how to internalize and process it, just interactions in a healthy way.
Also a dating coach. Cool. All right, Danielle. If I wanted to improve my social health by partying, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Okay, so I think the biggest struggle for people is feeling like they have to fit in, they have to be someone else. And specifically, I work with a lot of people who don't like to drink. So what I've learned in a social situation, if you don't want to drink, just order a seltzer and lime because it looks like you have like a vodka drink in your hand, but it takes off the pressure of feeling like, oh, I'm not drinking it and this looks awkward. So that's just one way that you can be yourself and still fit in and have a good time.
Or soda water and bitters. Yeah, there's so many options. Ginger beer. Ooh. Um, yeah, yeah, it's fun. Or you just walk in and shout, "I'm the sober guy. Let's rage," because that's been working.
Yeah, right. If anyone wants a DD, I'm actually here to make some extra bank.
I'm not here to drink. I'm here to party. All right, Danielle, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
Actually, about a year ago, I had a really smart coach in a mastermind who mentioned that. And I was like, that's really good, because you might not want to drink all the time at a party. So I thought that was smart.
Yeah, and then also for social health, I mean, surround yourself with people that don't peer pressure you is also a great way. You know, improve your social
Oh,
health
yeah.
by building relationships with people that have the same values as you. Even though I do hang out with a lot of drunk alcoholics, I still have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, we went real quick. You got anything else you want to add before we move on to our next guest?
Oh, speaking of parties, I have a really great program that is starting next year called the Overthinkers Breakthrough Course. Because one thing that happens to a lot of people is they overthink and then don't interact and don't party. So if you do want to break that overthinking habit, follow me on Facebook or Instagram and you can get more details there.
Hell yeah. And it's dropped in the chat right now. You can go follow her on Facebook and learn how to start partying a little bit better and improve your social health. Thank you so much, Danielle. Let's move on to Tyler. Hey, Tyler. Who are
What up?
you?
Yeah, so I'm just a normal dude. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a millionaire. I play some of those roles, but yeah, I'm just here to share some information, and what you do with it is your responsibility.
Was that a disclaimer? But sometimes you are the lawyer or the doctor?
Basically, yeah, exactly.
All right. All right. All right. Well, let's dig into the nitty gritty. If I wanted to improve my social health with partying, what tiny piece of advice would you give me, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't know if this is necessarily a tiny piece of advice, but I like to think of it as intelligence in intimacy, and it pulls in a lot of things that I've seen on your podcast with other guests, like boundaries, relationships, emotional intelligence. Basically, I like to think of like my friend group in like a bunch of different circles, and you talk about your inner circle, and that's great, but you'll have some people kind of moving in and out. You have your acquaintances kind of out in orbit, and you'll have people basically all different levels, people you work with, people that you're physically intimate with, but it's good to know where people lie in your network. And basically, I don't know if you've ever been at a party and somebody comes up and starts trauma dumping on you, but that's kind of a way to navigate that of, okay, yeah, this is cool. I really appreciate you sharing me with that, but you want to go dance is kind of a way to get out of that sort of situations, have those good boundaries.
Yeah, that seems to always happen right after 12:30 if you're still at the party. The trauma
Yeah,
dumping.
it's usually like those late night sessions for sure.
Yeah, so your tip essentially is have your social circles and know where you're at in your social circle when you're going to this party and what type of party it's going to be, I assume. Correct? Does that sound right?
Yeah, definitely. And, depending on the type of party, maybe gear up for a little bit of that. If it's something that's more intimate with the inner circle, maybe it's okay to share some of that and, build up those people that are important in your life.
Perfect. Tyler, where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
Oh man, lots of after parties for sure. Just like I said, people coming up and
Ant life?
wanting to tell me about their, childhood verse experiences or breakup that they're going through or something. It's, hey, that's not necessarily why I'm here, but
Do you ever go to Ant Life in downtown
oh yeah, definitely.
with Anthony
Those
and
guys are
Shroomski?
great. Yep. Anthony does some good parties there. Jacob's the owner.
Yep,
His
love Jacob. Shout out
wife
Jacob.
or
Shout out
partner.
Ant Life. Shout out Shroomski.
Yeah,
They throw some fun
totally.
parties there. Ant Life is an awesome venue. I threw one of my adult proms there one year, the after party. Super awesome venue.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and Anthony and Shroomski, really good brand there too. If you guys are interested, go ahead. Oh, we're not shouting out Mike. He didn't come on the show. Boo, Mike. Do you know Mike Knopping and Party Gurus?
I know Party Gurus, but yeah, I don't know him. I know a bunch of other promoters that work with him for sure.
Shout out Mike Knopping. All right, fine. All right, Tyler. Well, we're gonna move on from our small Denver circle that apparently we're both in, since Denver is a giant city with a small big city. We'll bring out Danielle and Jesse,
Town vibes.
and we'll take some questions from the audience. Audience, ask us about partying if you got any. Otherwise, we will go over each other's tips. Let's first start. Jesse, what was your tip? Good God.
Sorry, I party a little part there.
Can we just keep putting Jesse off camera and back on and see what happens? Oh, let's get him out of here. All right, Jesse, you're off. Do something funny. You got 10 seconds.
Oh,
All right, you're back on, Jesse.
Good thing I put that away before you brought me back on, right?
You did put that away before we brought it back on. You're very lucky.
Yeah.
He had his nipple out for those that didn't see it, which is everyone. All right, Jesse, quickly refresh what your tip was.
Take part. Just take part and have fun, and don't be a person with a stick up your butt. Take part. That's it.
Take the stick out of your ass and go get involved. All right, Danielle, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's excellent because I think people can get in their head and make put all these perceptions of like, oh, this is a bad party. I don't want to be here. These people are this and that. So to actually talk to people, you teach yourself something new. Yeah, I mean, and I've done that too. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to see what Tyler's thoughts were. Tyler, what are your thoughts on Jesse's tip?
I love it. It's great. I mean, I always like to ask myself, like, why am I going to this party? And if I'm not in the right mood, then it's maybe I shouldn't go. It's just like vibes are very contagious, So if you're there with a bad attitude, like other people will pick up on that and maybe not have the best time. But if you're there just like having the best time that you can, having fun, everybody's gonna have a good time.
All right. Everyone's got good vibes, can have a good time. I mean, the biggest reason for a party, right, is social gathering, right? Usually it's a celebration. Maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's bachelor, maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's just Jesse rubbing his nipple. Who knows? But parties are there to celebrate and bring people together, and usually there's food, which is my primary reason to go to a party, and usually there's people, which is a definition of a party. I guess you could have a solo party. I don't know. I wouldn't call that a party. But
Every
really,
night.
I mean, like every day. Every day is a Jesse alone party.
Life is a celebration, for sure.
All right. You succeeded in derailing this show. I'll give you that, Jesse. I'll give you that. But yeah, like Tyler's saying, you got to have the vibe and all this kind of stuff. But really, I mean, just like everyone's kind of saying, man, if you want to party, it's a great place to meet people. It's a great place to reconnect with old people. It's kind of a reason to get together, right? If you haven't seen someone in 6 months, what do? Go out to coffee to catch up, go out to dinner to catch up, or you run into a party and catch up and reconnect. But also a great place to meet new people, like Tyler was saying, with your social circles. Different parties bring different people, and we all wear different hats, right? I've got, Danielle does speed dating, maybe. Danielle also does masterminds with entrepreneur. Those are two different circles, right? One of them, she dates 20 dudes in 5 minutes, and one of them, she does a lot of business, and it's great. And so when you go to a party, man, Jesse, you really fucked this whole show up. When you go to a party, Warren, oh man, when you go to a party,
Okay, let's get
so
back
like
on
you
track.
also said, you don't have to drink I don't drink and I party all the time. This island does not have enough parties for me, so I have to start throwing my own. In Denver, I'd go to 2 or 3
Okay.
parties literally 5 nights a week, all the time, sober, without drinking. It was great. Lots of different variety of parties. And so I love party. Oh, thank God. We got a question from the audience. Oh, thank God. All right. We've got something to talk about. Realist charts. Thank you so much. I am sober. Hell yeah, me too. What role does alcohol or other substances play in how we interact with others during parties? Oh, man.
Nice. I
So
love this
I'd like to
question.
dive into
This
this
is.
one.
You want to take it, Danielle? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, not to, we'll all talk about it. I'm sure we all have something to say, but yeah, I mean, I think it can maybe get a little too much like a crutch where we're depending on alcohol to open up versus being confident and being comfortable with who we are when we go to a party, in any kind of party, right? A wedding, or like, which is not maybe your jam. So it can be a little taken too far, but it's just important to maybe consider which types of parties are best for you, that you enjoy yourself the most at. And like back to Tyler's point, which circles work best for you. So that way you can create your own social concoction that will allow you to have the best time ever.
All right. That is a
Yeah.
great idea. So being sober, one of the things about being sober is if you want to party and you're sober, you have to learn how to do it, right? A lot of people learn when they're young, get drunk, have alcohol. And in the 3 years that I've been sober, the first 2 months, was rough because I still wanted to go out. I was on a challenge, so people knew. But once I decided just willingly to be sober, you have to learn how to party sober, and it's a skill. I mean, nobody liked alcohol when they first drank it, right? When you first drink that beer, and you're like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" And it's going back to where you were before you started drinking. Now, you can do this. I party all the time sober, and there's other people that drink alcohol and probably do drugs and whatever else. I don't know. I don't watch it. You just kind of, once you're in that sober life, you just ignore it and you focus on your own thing. And almost everyone around you has a drink because that's how life is nowadays. But it's all about your identity, who you are, and how you live. You can definitely be a sober partier, and I am living proof. I just partied Friday night. I just partied Saturday night, and I was sober the entire time. Totally possible. And now, Tyler, you get to answer this question.
Yeah, actually, I was kind of thinking of doing like a tip on this because I know a lot of times when people think of partying, they think of substances. And so I think there's a place for it, but in that same, I've got my inner circle, I've got like my romantic circle. There's like a circle for me of like people that
How
I'm
big is your
comfortable
romantic circle?
taking berries.
Tyler's like, I got my 17 romantic circle going on.
But
Jesus.
there's a circle for people that you feel comfortable around with substances. You probably saw in my intro, like psychedelics is a big part of like what I've done in the past, and especially with that, that you're opening your mind, and so doing that around certain people can be traumatic, can be dangerous, for lack of a better word. So I recommend,
Tyler, real quick, Tyler, let
being.
me clear that up real quick. So Tyler is talking about psilocybin or mushrooms. It's legal in Denver, and it's still done wherever it's not legal. It's a psychoactive drug. If you're not sure of psilocybin or mushrooms, and so a lot of times when you do this drug also has been illegal for a long time. So I guess there's not as much social acceptance, whatnot, but it also does alter your brain. So you want to be in a safe setting. And so you want to do it with people you trust in places you trust. You don't just go do psilocybin in a random place at a random time unless you're very,
A
very
random
extreme.
party.
Yeah. Does that
Yeah.
sum it up, Tyler?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think there might be like a place for maybe like a microdose at a party if you're in a legal state. But I think in that same sort of sense, even just alcohol, like you guys are saying, you don't want to go overboard. There might be a place for like a little social lubricant of maybe a drink or two, but you definitely don't want to be that guy at the party that's had too much.
Unless you're at a frat party. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And then
All right, we've got
everybody's
another
competing to be
question.
that guy.
Another comment from Silver Fox. Hey, Silver Fox, how you doing? All right, we've got things are different now. 50 years ago, parties were simpler, centered around music, dancing, and conversation, which still is somewhat true, with little focus on substances, which may not be as much true. Socializing was more about connections and fun. Thoughts from our guests?
Doing the math, that was like the 70s, right? I thought that was kind of, there were a lot of substances in the
Well, maybe
70s
not in
at
his
parties. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would say almost every party there is alcohol, right? It's very rare that there's a non-alcohol party or a non-substance party. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
So
Birthday parties
in
for
my
kids,
work,
maybe?
actually, in my work, I work with some groups that have completely dry communities. There'll be like 2,000 people, and they'll bring me in for a Christmas party, and there's no booze at all. I'm talking First Nations that are farther north. They've completely banned alcohol in some of them. And what happens is they'll bring me in. We'll have a party. I'll do the hypnosis show, and we'll do DJing afterwards. And it's actually a community party where we'll have 200 or 300 people from the community, and nobody's drinking. They're just there having fun. They're having family and community, and those parties still exist almost everywhere. You just have to look for a dry party, and they do happen. And on top of that, for me, when I used to party, I don't party as much as I used to, like go out and get drunk and stuff. But for me, what's happened is because I work them, I'm always the sober one. So I can see who else is sober, and I can communicate with the other people that are sober. And one of the best things about going to a party sober is you can look over at the idiots who are completely whacked out of their mind, and you can just say, thank God that's not me. Because frankly, I don't want to be there. Or if you're a person that does want to be there, then go there. It's really up to you, and it's your responsibility to interact with the party the way that you want to interact with it, not how it's dictated towards you. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I appreciate that, because there are. Go ahead. Yeah, I really appreciate that, because
So what I was going to say was, what I was going to say is, I wonder, times were simpler then, whereas today, like whether it's dating or party, people are kind of afraid of each other. And I wonder if that's kind of what you're highlighting here, Silver Fox, where it's like you go to a party or you go to a bar and you're like, there's a cute girl and I want to pick her up and I want to talk to her. And she's defensive immediately, right? And for no reason, let's say. Or people are just really on the defense. And of course, even like when having a conversation, you feel like you have to be a little like walking on eggshells because there's all this political strife and everything else where you don't want to like piss somebody off. You want to have a good time, but it's like you're afraid to say the wrong thing.
It's a valid point. That is a valid point. All right, Tyler, this question is targeted directly to you. What has been your most memorable or meaningful party experience and why? You are interesting, so this is for you.
oh man, that's a tough one.
Silver Fox did agree with you, Danielle. That's what he meant. All right, go ahead, Tyler. You can answer that.
Man, most memorable or meaningful. That's pretty tough. I guess one of the biggest ones. So around the Denver Psilocybin Initiative, the watch party was pretty memorable and meaningful because that's the culmination of lots of work from dozens, maybe like hundreds of volunteers. As far as like a political campaign, it was all grassroots. There's very little money involved. Everybody who collected signatures did it.
Watch party for when psilocybin got voted legal?
Yes. So this was 2019 in Denver.
Okay.
And
continue.
At Invisible City, you probably know the venue, Austin.
Yes.
But we got together and we were watching it, and it was like kind of a rough party actually, because as the numbers were coming in, we were not winning. We were behind like 5 points, and it kept getting like closer and closer. But at like 2 a.m. when we were finally all trying to go home and they had stopped counting for the night, we were behind by like a full point. And so we kind of, everybody went home a little sad that we had put in all this work and we didn't have the results that we were looking for. But then like 4:20 the next day, they announced that it actually did pass, and psilocybin was now decriminalized in Denver. So it was like kind of a mixed bag experience, but definitely memorable, definitely meaningful for sure.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, we are getting to the point where we got to wrap this show up. We got no more questions from the audience, so let's move into our daily challenge. We need to come up with a challenge that we can do every day that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to everyone in the world, from Moscow Party Central to Ibiza to Las Vegas, that improves your social health with partying.
So I kind of thought of one based on the intelligence and intimacy of just kind of mapping out those circles for yourself. Start with the inner circle and kind of build from there. And, it's all you need is pencil and paper.
Okay, so let's go more into detail on that. Maybe every day write down one of your social circles and maybe who's in it.
Yeah, that'd be good for sure. Or just add another person. And, when you're out of people to add, you got to go out and party.
Make a list of all your friends, and when you run out, it's time to go party. Gotta meet some new ones. Oh, we got a quick question. Anyone want to party in Vegas? Oh man,
I'll be there in January 20th. I'm attending a conference. I would love to be invited to a party. I'll have my wife with me, so it can't be anything crazy. But I'll be in Vegas in the end of January.
When are you going?
January 20th. I'm down there, provided my passport goes through, because Canada Post is on strike right now. But I'm down there January 20th to the 23rd, speaking on hypnosis, actually, to a whole group of stage hypnotists.
I will be there
Here,
the 22nd.
You guys got to link up.
Nice.
I'll be there 22nd to 25th. So we'll have dinner on the 22nd.
Possibly, as long as I'm not speaking at that time, sure.
Then we'll go to late night dinner party afterwards. We're not going to both be in Vegas if we go out.
Well, maybe.
So actually, it's okay if I can respond. I do not wish to party in Vegas because I have on a bachelorette, and it's too male. It's too like grabby. Like they're all looking for women, and like so. But I had a lot of fun on a bachelorette in Savannah, Georgia. It's very friendly there, and they're not too pushy with the women. So that is my response to that question.
So Vegas was all about grabby.
Yeah.
I kind of had not like the exact same experience, but where Vegas was like a little overhyped. I went for the first time 4th of July last summer for a Grateful Dead show. And it was just, I don't know, like we didn't really sleep at all, and there was just too much going on, and just not really my cup of tea. I'll probably go back at some point, but that's for like the Sphere experience.
I think we all need to go January 22nd.
Have a new experience. Well, and it's about the company.
I will show you Vegas. Vegas is the greatest party city out there. It is so much fun. I can't wait to go. Oh,
make it happen, they say.
Jesse, prepare not to sleep January 22nd. You and your wife going out all night. It's going to be great.
We'll see.
All right, let's focus back on our challenge. We got to wrap this up. Daily challenge. How do we improve our social health with partying with a 5-minute task per day? Whew, that's kind of a tough one, right? How do we do this? So we obviously aren't going to party every day. Okay,
No,
For
go
the
ahead.
next 3 days, I am.
Go,
I mean,
Danielle.
I
What were you
guess
gonna say?
this would have so something I did to improve my social health was after a breakup with a boyfriend in April, I went on meetup.com. Maybe what you can do is like every day just kind of think of one social activity that you would love to do and like Google, like on Meetup, right? Meetup.com. Google like an area close to you that you could drive to or types of events and start thinking outside the box about like what kinds of things would be realistic groups for you to join.
So joining some groups because groups usually have get-togethers. Okay, all right. So let's every day let's at least write down one hobby that you could join a group with.
Yeah.
One interest that you can join a group with. Is Omegle still a thing? I don't know. Omegle isn't that like a online video chat like randomized or something?
Isn't that where
I
Kermit
don't.
shows his hoo hoo?
Wow. Well, that changed everything I thought about Omegle.
Well, he does, doesn't he? He like has a cucumber or something that he shows people.
This is brand new news to me. I have zero idea.
Yeah, I don't
Look
know
it up.
that.
Look it up, Austin.
All right, so write down an interest that you can find a group with. Okay, and I assume, I mean, most groups will have a get together or some sort of party once a month. Great. What else can we do? We aren't partying every day. Dang. That's one thing that's good about partying is kind of learning who's going to be there and doing a little research. At least for masterminds and entrepreneur meetups, I like to see who else is attending, and you do a little research on them, like, oh, who are the real estate guys, who are the coaches, and kind of get a little research. But that is something you're not going to do every day. Come on,
You
guys,
might
we
be
got
able
to
to
get something
do
else interesting.
5 minutes
Go
of
ahead.
that every day, though. If you,
Say that again.
if you have an upcoming event and you go on the guest list, and you can do like 5 minutes of creeping on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook creeping. All right.
I was going to say maybe you can prepare like 2 or 3 questions, to before you go to a social event or if you have something coming up. So that way it's like, how could I add value to this event, or how could I make this fun? So that way you have some kind of point of focus at the social event, at the party.
Okay,
I like
that's
that.
great. I also we should find events, right? Maybe
Right.
you can
Yeah.
search Facebook or Eventbrite, find an event
Yeah. Those are great.
in the next 6 months, because we're going to do this for 7 days. So that's 7 events. So some of the introverts, maybe we can do once a month. In the next 6 months that you would like to attend. And then I like thinking of like a little pre-research, maybe if you know the event you're going to, maybe you have a couple of questions that you want to do. So each day we're going to find an event in the next 6 months we want to go to, right? Find a hobby, like Tyler said, find an event in that hobby, and then plan out like 3 questions to ask. Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I think that was Danielle with the hobbies, which is also like a really great point. Is especially on Meetup, anything even if it's just like skills based too. I would go to like some web development meetups when I was getting into it.
Yeah,
So
I
something
guess
that interests you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the definition of a party isn't necessarily a big concert that you're going to or some house party. It could literally be just playing board games with 5 other people. That could be a party.
I agree with that.
Those are good
Especially if you
ones.
all love board games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be a concert too. I mean, maybe you all just love Sugar Ray and you want to go meet some Sugar Ray avid fans. I saw your face, Danielle. I was like, well, Sugar Ray ain't the one she going to see.
Anyway.
Oh, man. All right. Where are we at? 40 minutes? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we can talk. We
Yeah.
got time, whatever. All right. So daily challenge. So each day, think of something that interests you. And like Tyler said, it can be professional. It can be personal. It can be something that you want to do. Join a group that can be Facebook. It can be Eventbrite, Meetup. and find an event that you're going to go to. So we're going to force you to go to 7 events over the next couple months, and then write 3 questions that you can ask people there. If it's a Star Trek convention, you could talk about Spock, I think his name is, your favorite Spock moment, and your favorite ship type, and your favorite laser beam. I don't really know if they have laser beams in Star Trek, but maybe.
They're photon torpedoes, man.
Yeah, your
They're
favorite torpedo type.
Torpedoes. Yes.
Yeah, what's your favorite photon? Good, yeah, I think that's a solid challenge. Daniel, you want to add to it? You were about to say something.
What I was going to say, just as we're wrapping up, is maybe instead of having the mindset of like, oh, I'm going to a party and that's where the fun is, how can you make life a party? And every little, just in your day, how can I make
just
this
watch
fun?
Millionaires Are Made with Jesse. Simple.
I'm sorry, everyone. I apologize. I'll never be on again.
This is the moment Jesse got banned.
Oh no!
This almost feels like a party right here.
You know.
No, that is a good point. I mean, it's almost like, people always say you want to create a life that you don't need to escape from. Like that's in a lot of sober talk in my sober circles. Like, why do you drink? Oh, to escape the difficulty of the day. It's like, well, let's figure out how to build our life so we don't want to escape from it, right? Like move to an island, don't want to leave. And so it's almost the same idea, like a party is kind of a way to like let loose and forget your life. And yeah, there's time and place for it. I guess you don't want to do that forever, but maybe there is something
I disagree. I disagree, Austin. I think a party, let's take the board game party as an example. Imagine you've got 5 of your best friends. You're not even drinking, but you got the Monopoly out or you got the Uno out or whatever it is. And you're just there enjoying the people in your life. You don't even have to drink. That is a party, in my opinion. And that's where life actually happens. The work isn't like your job. That's not life. That's somebody else's working slavery bullshit. The party happens and the life happens how you make it. So, wow. Sorry. I apologize. But the party...
Valid points.
Can be what your life is. So, and I don't mean the drinking part either. I just mean the interaction with other human beings, not necessarily the other stuff. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about.
To counterpoint that though, Jesse, that's not something you can sustain all day, every day. First off, you're gonna get tired of your friends. I don't know if I have 5 friends I could spend every waking moment with, but I do have, and then we can go into Tyler and be like, every day I could have a new social group. But not everyone other than me wants to go out every night and hang out with friends. People sometimes need their space and need their inside and their peace or whatever bullshit they tell you, and they're not out partying because that's silly. But to provide a little counterpoint, a party is a kind of a once in a, people live up to it. Once every couple weeks, once a month, they go out, they have their party, they enjoy it, and then they go back to their life that they're also still happy with.
Fair.
Yeah, there's different types of parties, and there's like wedding parties that obviously like you really prepare for and things. And
you can't have that every day.
No, and there's raves and things that people love to do, but there's also like really simple things that like like the board games and stuff that are still can be really fun and connected.
Or a dinner party or any of that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Thursday I have a networking party I'm hosting, and then Sunday I have an NFL lasagna party, pasta Sunday. So I've got 2 parties coming up that I'm hosting. It's going to be a wild week. Wild.
That's right. Oh my God.
Did she freeze in the middle of a sentence?
I believe so.
That's a screenshot. Someone screenshot that.
Oh man.
Well, I guess we're never going to hear the end of that point, and we're way past time. We got to end this.
It's okay. I'm enjoying this. This is a party.
Yeah, I agree. To me, this is a fun party, but at some point we got to end our shows. Otherwise, people are going to stop watching as they take 10 hours.
Oh, she's back. She's moving. Her eyelids are.
All right, yeah, that's too bad. I was frozen.
Hey, can you tell us what the point was you were making? Because you froze right in the middle of it.
Oh no, well, we were just explaining like different kinds of parties. Like you were talking about like networking, and then an NFL party, and I was like, yeah, I holiday theme party. So after Thanksgiving, I had hosted what's called Friendsgiving, where you get your friends together and have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, I love a good Friendsgiving. Or
Yeah.
ugly sweater parties. It's party season, honestly, and I
It
encourage
is.
everyone
is.
watching to go to as many parties as possible, or at least
And
7
think
over the
outside of the
next.
box as far as what parties could be, because I think that there's a lot to Jesse's point of the small gathering can be a party, and to me it's kind of just like a celebration is a party, and even if it's the end of the workday, and you're
Happy hour
unwinding,
party.
yeah, there's a lot in there for sure.
All right, here's a comment for your ego, Jesse.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I don't have
all
an
right, all
ego.
right. It's time to wrap this up. Thank you all so much for coming out. What a great time. We got our daily challenge. We're going to make people plan questions and go to events/parties over the next 6 months and write down some interests so people can start following it. I hope to hear some stories of people that are like, oh, I always liked doing this, like riding bikes, but I never really did it. I never really had a group. And I hope that they go and they find their group and start doing bicycle riding parties and have a lot of fun. I'm going to put y'all backstage. Thank you so much for coming out. And
Thanks for having
viewers,
us.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
your awesome questions as well as watching. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Millionaires Are Made. We talked way too much about social health and partying and how to improve your social health, how to create new relationships, how to build your current relationships, having a little dinner party, having a giant raver, whatever it is. Our daily challenge is going to be awesome. So we need to write down every day one of our interests. Maybe you haven't been exploring this interest. Maybe it's your life. Let's try to do something that's going to make you even happier if it's more in your life. Then we're going to join a group about it, find an event regarding your interest, and go to it. But before you do, write down 3 questions that you can ask guests there so you can start connecting immediately with people and get to know them. Whew.